Success doesn't come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who relentlessly pursue it. No matter the challenges ahead, fear doesn't define you unless you let it. When you adopt the shark mindset, fear becomes fuel, not a barrier. Imagine waking up every day with the drive to keep going, no matter what stands in your way. Imagine facing every challenge head on, without hesitation, because you know you have the mental strength to get through it. What if you could be that person? What if you could develop a mindset that's relentless, fearless, and unstoppable? The kind of mindset that doesn't give up when things get hard, that keeps pushing forward, and that refuses to settle for anything less than your best. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that kind of mindset. It's not about waiting for the right moment or hoping things will get better on their own. It's about taking control and developing the habits, attitudes, and mental toughness you need to break through any obstacle. You'll learn how to stay consistent, stay focused, and handle pressure like a pro. I'm going to share with you what it takes to stop waiting for the perfect time, stop making excuses, and start taking real action in your life. This isn't just about motivation for the day. This is about changing how you think, how you approach challenges, and how you live your life every day. It's about creating a mindset that keeps you moving forward, no matter what. If you're ready to stop holding back and start living up to your full potential, this video is for you. Stay with me and let's dive into how you can become relentless, fearless, and unstoppable. Number one, you must have a clear purpose. Do you know why most people never get what they want in life? It's not because they're not smart enough. It's not because they don't have enough talent. It's not even because they don't work hard. It's because they don't know what they're working toward. They wake up every morning, go through the motions, and wonder why they feel lost. They wonder why nothing in their life is changing. But I'll tell you this, until you get clear about what you want, you will always feel stuck. You will always feel like you're chasing something, but you don't know what it is. And that's no way to live. That's no way to build a life you're proud of. You must have a clear purpose. You must wake up every morning knowing exactly what you're working toward. And I don't mean something vague like, I want to be successful or I want to be happy. That's not enough. That's not going to push you when life gets hard. You need something strong. You need a purpose that shakes you, that wakes you up early and keeps you up late. Think about it. Why do some people push through failure while others give up? Why do some people get back up every time they fall while others stay down? It's because they have something driving them, something deep, something powerful. You have to find that for yourself. You have to decide what you want, and you have to commit to it so fully that quitting is not an option. Because if you don't, life will always control you instead of the other way around. Let me tell you a hard truth. Most people don't achieve their dreams because they never really make it necessary. They say they want success, but they don't act like it. They treat their goals like an option instead of a requirement. And when things get tough, they walk away. They go back to what's comfortable. They settle. But when you have a real purpose, you don't settle. You don't back down. You don't wait for the right time because you know the right time is right now. I want you to think about something. Imagine waking up 10 years from now and realizing you wasted a whole decade waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until you felt ready, waiting for someone to give you permission. And now you're looking back, filled with regret, knowing you could have done more. Don't let that be your story. Don't let time pass you by while you sit on the sidelines. You must get serious about your purpose. You must get serious about your life. Some people go their whole lives without ever asking themselves, what do I really want? They just follow the crowd. They do what everyone else is doing, and then they wonder why they never feel fulfilled. That's not going to be you. You are going to take control. You are going to decide what you want, and you are going to go after it with everything you've got. Because here's the thing, if you don't decide, someone else will decide for you. And trust me, you don't want that. You don't want to wake up one day living a life that doesn't even feel like your own. So right now ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what your parents want. Not what your friends think is cool. Not what society says you should do. What do you want? And don't just think about it. Write it down. Make it real. Because when you put it in front of you, When you see it every single day, it becomes real. It becomes something you can work toward instead of just a vague idea in your mind. But let me warn you, once you get clear on your purpose, life will test you. You will face obstacles. You will face setbacks. People will doubt you. Some will even laugh at you. And this is where most people quit. This is where they say, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should just give up. But not you. Because when your purpose is strong enough, nothing can break you. No failure, no rejection, no hardship. You will push through because you know what's on the other side. You know what you're fighting for. Think about the people who have achieved great things. Do you think it was easy for them? Do you think they never wanted to quit? Of course not. But they had a purpose so strong that giving up wasn't an option. And that's how you need to be. You need to make your purpose stronger than your excuses. You need to make it stronger than your fears. Because once you do, nothing will stop you. So decide today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today, decide what you want. Decide that you will not settle. Decide that no matter what life throws at you, you will keep going. Because once you have a clear purpose, you become unstoppable. You become fearless. You become relentless. And when you live like that, success is no longer a possibility. It's a guarantee. Number 2, develop unbreakable mental toughness. Most people don't realize that success is built in the mind before it ever happens in reality. If you don't have the right mindset, nothing else matters. You can have talent, but talent without mental toughness will fail under pressure. You can have ambition, but ambition without mental toughness will crumble when things get hard. You can have a great plan, but without mental toughness, one setback will make you quit. The difference between those who win and those who don't isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. It isn't even skill. It's toughness. The ability to keep going when everything inside you wants to stop. The ability to handle pain, handle failure, handle rejection, and still show up. Still work, still push forward. That's what separates the strong from the weak. Most people don't train their minds. They think toughness is something you're born with. They think it's either in you or it's not. But that's not true. Mental toughness is something you build, something you develop. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. But the only way to train it is to go through challenges, to push yourself past the limits you thought you had. Think about the last time you wanted to quit, the last time you felt like giving up. What did you do? Did you stop? Did you walk away? Or did you push through? If you stopped, that's the moment you lost. Not because you weren't capable, but because you let your mind control you instead of the other way around. That's the moment you need to change. Most people are soft, they break under pressure. The moment something gets hard, they look for a way out. They want it to be easy. But if it were easy, everyone would be successful. Everyone would be rich. Everyone would be fit. Everyone would be living their dreams. But that's not how it works. It's not easy. And it's never going to be easy. But if you're tough, if you train yourself to handle the hard times, then nothing can stop you. You've got to get to a point where nothing breaks you. Not failure, not disappointment, not criticism. You've got to be so strong that no matter what happens, you keep moving forward. That's what mental toughness is. It's not about never feeling pain, it's about pushing through it. It's not about never having doubt, it's about acting despite it. Some people are controlled by their emotions. If they don't feel like working, they don't. If they feel discouraged, they stop. If they don't see results right away, they give up. But that's weakness. That's why they never get where they want to be. You cannot let your emotions control your actions. You have to learn to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Think about an athlete. They train even when they're tired. They practice even when they don't feel like it. They show up every day because they know that's the only way to get better. That's the only way to win. And if you want to win in life, you have to do the same. You have to show up every day. You have to put in the work even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable. The truth is, most people quit before they even see what they're capable of. They hit a little resistance, and they stop. They face one failure and they walk away. But what they don't realize is that their biggest breakthrough is just past that moment when they feel like giving up. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going despite failure. They're the ones who refuse to quit. You've got to start seeing struggle as part of the process. You've got to start expecting it. Because the moment you expect life to be easy, you've already lost. But when you expect it to be hard, when you know challenges are coming and you're ready for them, nothing can shake you. That's when you become unstoppable. Ask yourself, how do you handle pressure? How do you handle setbacks? When life knocks you down, do you stay down, or do you get back up? That answer will determine everything. That answer will decide whether you stay where you are, or whether you reach the level you were meant for. Start training your mind every single day. Start pushing yourself. Do things that challenge you. Put yourself in situations where you have to be strong. Because the more you do that, the tougher you get. And the tougher you get, the less anything can stop you. There will come a day when you look back at everything you went through, and you'll realize it all made you stronger. The pain, the failure, the struggles, they weren't there to break you. They were there to build you. And if you can understand that, if you can use it to push forward instead of hold you back, then nothing will be able to stand in your way. The choice is yours. Stay weak, stay afraid, stay comfortable, or develop the mental toughness to win. Because once you do, no challenge will ever be too big, no obstacle too strong, no failure too painful. You will keep going, you will rise above, and you will win. Number 3. Handle pain and pressure like a champion. When life gets hard, most people back down. They start questioning themselves. They wonder if they're even capable. If they have what it takes, the pain gets too much. The pressure gets overwhelming. And suddenly, they start looking for an easy way out. But you cannot afford to be like most people. If you want to win, if you want to be great, you must learn to handle pain and pressure like a champion. There is no success without struggle, no victory without sacrifice, no strength without pain. The truth is, if you aren't willing to go through discomfort, you'll never grow. You'll never see what you're truly made of. The greatest achievers in the world are the ones who learned how to endure, how to push through, how to keep going when everything inside them was telling them to stop. Most people only work hard when things are going well, when they feel good, when they see results, when they're motivated, they give it everything. But the moment things get tough, they start pulling back. They start making excuses. They tell themselves it's too hard, it's not worth it. Maybe it's not meant to be. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they never break through. You've got to be different. You've got to train yourself to keep pushing even when you're tired. You've got to keep working even when you're discouraged. You've got to show up even when you don't feel like it. Because that is the real test. Anybody can work hard when things are easy. But how do you respond when it's painful? How do you handle the moments when you want to quit? That's what separates the winners from the rest. Pain is a part of the process. It's not something to avoid. It's something to embrace. Because every time you push through pain, you get stronger. Every time you endure, you build character. Every time you refuse to quit, you move one step closer to success. The ones who give up never get to see how strong they could have been. They never get to experience the reward of their sacrifice. But those who stay the course, those who keep moving forward no matter what, they are the ones who rise. Pressure is the same way. Most people run from it. They want comfort. They want security. They want things to be easy. But pressure is what forces you to grow. It challenges you. It pushes you. It demands that you step up. If you can learn to handle pressure instead of letting it break you, you will become unstoppable. Because when everyone else is falling apart, you'll be the one standing strong. Think about a time in your life when you felt overwhelmed, when you felt like the pressure was too much. Maybe it was a deadline. Maybe it was financial stress. Maybe it was personal struggles. Whatever it was, how did you respond? Did you rise to the occasion, or did you let it defeat you? That moment tells you everything you need to know about where you are right now. But here's the good news. You can train yourself to handle pressure better. You can develop the ability to stay calm, to stay focused, to perform at your best even in the toughest situations. How? By exposing yourself to it. By putting yourself in difficult situations and refusing to back down. By pushing yourself every day just a little more than you think you can handle. You have to stop seeing pain and pressure as enemies. They are your greatest teachers. They are the things that shape you into the person you need to become. No one ever reached greatness by avoiding struggle. No one ever became strong by staying comfortable. If you want to win, you must learn to embrace the hard times. Because those moments are where champions are made. Every time you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Remember what's at stake. Remember that the pain is temporary, but the rewards of pushing through last forever. Keep going, even when it hurts. Keep going, even when you're tired. Keep going, even when everything in you is telling you to stop. Because on the other side of that pain is your breakthrough. On the other side of that struggle is the life you want. You have to develop the mindset that nothing will break you. No setback, no obstacle, no challenge will be enough to stop you. You may get knocked down, but you will get back up. You may struggle, but you will not quit. That's the mindset of a champion. That's the mindset that leads to success. Number 4, stop waiting for the right time, move now. Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, the right time, the ideal situation. They wait until they feel ready. They wait until they have more money, more confidence, more experience. And because they're always waiting, they never move. They never take action. They never go after what they truly want. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to stop waiting. You have to move now. You see, there's no such thing as the perfect time. There's no magical moment when everything falls into place, when everything feels right, when you suddenly have no doubts or fears. That moment will never come. And if you keep waiting for it, you'll wake up one day and realize that you've wasted years doing nothing. You'll look back and see all the opportunities you missed because you were too busy waiting for the stars to align. The truth is, the best time to start is right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Now. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. The more excuses you make, the more comfortable you get with inaction. And before you know it, you'll be stuck. You'll be one of those people who talk about what they're going to do, but never actually do anything. You have to stop telling yourself that you need more time. Time is not the problem. Fear is the problem. Doubt is the problem. The belief that you're not ready is the problem. But let me tell you something. You will never feel fully ready. No one ever does. The people who succeed are the ones who take action, even when they don't feel ready. They step out before they have all the answers. They move forward before they have it all figured out. And because they move, they learn, they grow, they get better. Most people let fear control them. They think, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if people judge me? And so they do nothing. But here's the reality. Failure is part of the process. You cannot win without failing first. You cannot grow without making mistakes. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is, they didn't let failure stop them. They didn't let fear hold them back. They kept moving. If you want to change your life, you must stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself that you don't have enough time, that you don't have enough resources, that you don't know enough. You have everything you need to start. You may not be where you want to be yet, but that's not an excuse to do nothing. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. You've got to train yourself to take action immediately. The moment you decide on something, move. Don't sit around overthinking. Don't spend weeks planning without ever executing. Just move. Start small if you have to, but start, because action creates momentum. The more you do, the more confident you become. The more you move forward, the easier it gets. Think about the last time you hesitated on something important. Maybe it was a business idea. Maybe it was a fitness goal. Maybe it was a decision to improve your life. You wanted to do it, but you waited. You doubted yourself. And because you waited, you lost time. You lost progress. You lost opportunities. Now think about the times you took action without hesitation. Maybe it was a time when you pushed yourself, when you stepped out of your comfort zone, when you didn't let fear stop you. What happened? You grew. You learned. You became stronger. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. The ones who win are not the smartest. They're not the most talented. They're the ones who move. They take action even when it's scary. They start before they feel ready. They refuse to wait for life to hand them opportunities. They create their own. You have to understand that nothing changes until you do. You can read all the books, watch all the motivational videos, listen to all the advice. But if you don't take action, nothing happens. Knowledge without action is useless. Plans without execution mean nothing. If you want to change your life, you have to stop talking about it and start doing something about it. You have to stop waiting for someone to save you, to guide you, to give you permission. No one is coming to do it for you. This is your life, your responsibility, your decision. Most people think they need more motivation. They wait for the right mood, the right energy, the right inspiration. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. You cannot depend on it. What you need is discipline. What you need is the ability to take action, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline means showing up every day, no matter what. It means doing the work, even when you're tired. It means pushing through, even when you feel like quitting. That's what separates the winners from the rest. Look at the most successful people in the world. Do you think they always felt motivated? Do you think they always had confidence? No. They struggled. They doubted. They failed. But they kept moving. They didn't let fear stop them. They didn't let excuses hold them back. They took action, over and over again, until they reached their goals. You have that same ability. You have the power to change your life. But it starts with a decision. A decision to stop waiting. A decision to take action. A decision to move, now no matter what. So ask yourself, what have you been putting off? What have you been waiting for? What dreams have you been delaying? Because you're scared, because you feel unprepared, because you're waiting for the right moment. Decide right now that you're done waiting. Decide right now that you're going to take action, even if it's small, even if it's messy, even if you don't feel ready. Because the truth is, you'll never be completely ready. But you don't have to be. You just have to start. Move now. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. Do not waste another second. Because life is happening right now. Opportunities are passing by right now. The question is, are you going to let them slip away? Or are you going to grab them? Are you going to keep waiting? Or are you going to take control of your future? Number 5, eliminate weakness from your mindset. Most people go through life carrying weaknesses they don't even realize are holding them back. They get comfortable with their excuses, their fears, their self-doubt. They accept these things as part of who they are, never stopping to question if they have the power to remove them. But if you want to be relentless, if you want to be fearless, if you want to be unstoppable, you have to eliminate weakness from your mindset. You have to recognize the habits, thoughts, and behaviors that are making you weaker and remove them from your life. Because weakness is not just physical. It starts in the mind. And if you don't get rid of it, it will control you. The first thing you have to do is identify the thoughts that are making you weak. Every time you tell yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, you are programming yourself to fail. Every time you doubt yourself, every time you hesitate, every time you let fear stop you, you are reinforcing weakness. And the more you do it, the harder it becomes to break free. You have to become aware of these thoughts. You have to catch yourself when you start thinking small, when you start making excuses, when you start looking for an easy way out. Because the way you think determines how you act. And if you're always thinking from a place of weakness, you will never develop strength. You also have to stop allowing emotions to control your decisions. Weakness shows up in the way people react to difficulties. When things get tough, weak-minded people look for the easy way out. They complain, they quit, they tell themselves it's not fair, that life is too hard, that it's not their fault. But the truth is, life will always be difficult. You cannot escape challenges. You cannot avoid struggle. What you can control is how you respond. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, you have to train yourself to stay disciplined no matter what. You cannot let temporary feelings decide your future. There will be days when you feel tired. There will be moments when doubt creeps in. But those moments are when you have to push through. Those moments are when you have to remind yourself that weakness is not an option. One of the biggest weaknesses people have is seeking comfort. They avoid pain. They avoid effort. They look for shortcuts. But comfort is the enemy of growth. If you always take the easy route, you will never get stronger. If you always back down when things get hard, you will never develop the mindset of a champion. You have to start getting uncomfortable on purpose. You have to train yourself to embrace struggle. Because the more you push yourself, the more you challenge yourself, the stronger you become. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who had it easy. They are the ones who learned how to fight. They are the ones who refused to let weakness take over. They are the ones who understood that struggle is necessary for success. Another form of weakness is surrounding yourself with the wrong people. If you are always around people who complain, who make excuses, who don't push themselves, that energy will affect you. Weakness is contagious. If you listen to negativity long enough, you start believing it. If you allow weak-minded people to influence you, you start adopting their mindset. You have to be ruthless about who you spend your time with. If someone is not making you stronger, they are making you weaker. If someone is constantly bringing negativity into your life, you have to distance yourself. Because at the end of the day, your success is your responsibility. No one else will do the work for you. No one else will push you to be great. You have to make that decision for yourself. And that means choosing to be around people who are strong, who are driven, who are focused. People who inspire you to be better. Eliminating weakness also means taking full responsibility for your life. Weak-minded people blame others. They blame their circumstances. They blame their past. They make excuses for why they can't succeed. But none of that will change anything. The only way to take control of your future is to take responsibility for everything in your life. Stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop looking for someone to fix your problems. Stop expecting life to be fair. It won't be. The world does not owe you anything. No one is coming to rescue you. If you want change, you have to create it yourself. If you want success, you have to earn it. And that means taking full control over your actions, your mindset, and your habits. Another way to eliminate weakness is to stop wasting time. Weak-minded people are always distracted. They waste hours on things that do not matter. They complain about not having enough time, but they spend their days watching television, scrolling through social media, doing things that add nothing to their future. If you are serious about success, you have to be disciplined with your time. You have to cut out distractions. You have to stop wasting energy on things that don't help you grow. Because every minute you waste is time you will never get back. Every hour you spend on meaningless activities is an hour you could have spent building your future. You also have to stop fearing failure. Weak-minded people are afraid to fail, so they never try. They avoid challenges because they don't want to risk looking bad. But failure is not something to be afraid of. Failure is part of the process. Every successful person has failed more times than they can count. The difference is, they did not let failure stop them. They did not let mistakes define them. They learned. They adjusted. They kept moving forward. If you want to eliminate weakness, you have to embrace failure as a necessary step towards success. You have to stop seeing mistakes as the end and start seeing them as lessons. Because the only real failure is quitting. Eliminating weakness means making the decision to be strong every single day. It means refusing to settle for less than your best. It means pushing yourself, even when it's hard. It means training your mind to be disciplined, focused, and relentless. It means refusing to let fear control you. It means choosing to take action instead of making excuses. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you realize. But you will never reach your full potential if you allow weakness to control you. You have to fight against it. You have to push through it. You have to make the choice to be strong, no matter what. Because the only way to be unstoppable is to eliminate every weakness that stands in your way. Number 6. The power of self-control. Master your emotions. They wake up feeling tired, so they don't push themselves. They feel discouraged, so they quit. They feel frustrated, so they take it out on other people. But if you want to succeed, if you want to become relentless, fearless, and unstoppable, you have to learn the power of self-control. You have to master your emotions before they master you. Because the difference between people who win and people who lose is not talent. It's not luck. It's not intelligence. It's discipline. It's the ability to control yourself, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to push forward, even when everything inside of you wants to stop. The first thing you have to understand is that emotions are temporary. No matter how strong they feel in the moment, they will pass. You may wake up feeling unmotivated. You may go through a day feeling frustrated. You may experience moments of doubt, but none of that is permanent. And if you allow temporary emotions to control permanent decisions, you will never reach your full potential. Too many people make choices based on how they feel instead of what they need to do. They let emotions dictate their work ethic. They let emotions decide their future. But emotions are unreliable. They come and go. And if you are always waiting to feel right before you take action, you will never get anything done. You have to train yourself to act regardless of how you feel. Winners don't wait for motivation. They don't wait until they're in the mood. They don't let emotions determine their level of effort. They show up, no matter what. They do the work, even when they don't want to. They stay disciplined, even when it's uncomfortable. Because they understand that success is not about feelings. It's about consistency. It's about showing up every day and putting in the work. No matter what is going on inside your head. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that self-control means shutting off emotions completely. That's not the goal. You are human. You will always feel things. You will have good days and bad days. You will experience moments of frustration, disappointment, and even fear. But the key is to manage those emotions, not let them control you. When you feel fear, you push through it. When you feel anger, you don't let it dictate your actions. When you feel tired, you keep moving forward. That's real self-control. It's not about ignoring emotions. It's about deciding that no emotion is strong enough to make you give up on yourself. One of the best ways to develop self-control is to create non-negotiable habits. If you wake up every day and decide whether or not you feel like working hard, you're giving emotions too much power. Instead, you need to build routines that you follow no matter how you feel. You wake up and do the work. No questions asked. You show up and put in the effort. No excuses allowed. You train your mind to operate on discipline, not emotion. The people who achieve the highest levels of success don't have fewer emotions than you. They don't struggle less. They don't doubt themselves less. They have simply trained themselves to follow through no matter what. Self-control also means learning how to manage your reactions. Too many people let outside circumstances determine their attitude. They have a bad morning, so they let it ruin their whole day. Someone disrespects them, so they let anger take over. Things don't go their way, so they decide to give up. But if you want to be unstoppable, you have to take control of your responses. Life is unpredictable. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can always control how you react. You can choose to stay focused. You can choose to stay disciplined. You can choose to keep moving forward, no matter what. The moment you let outside forces dictate your emotions, you are giving up control. You are allowing circumstances to determine your mindset. And once you do that, you become powerless. Because there will always be obstacles. There will always be distractions. There will always be reasons to feel discouraged. But none of that has to stop you, unless you let it. One of the most powerful things you can do is learn to pause before you react. When you feel a strong emotion rising, take a breath. Step back. Give yourself a moment to think. Because most bad decisions happen when people act on impulse. They let frustration, anger, or fear take over, and they make choices they later regret. But if you take control of yourself, if you train yourself to pause and think before you act, you will always make better decisions. You will always stay in control. Mastering self-control also means being aware of what triggers you. If you know that certain situations bring out the worst in you, prepare for them. If you know that stress makes you want to quit, train yourself to push through. If you know that disappointment makes you lose focus, develop strategies to stay on track. You have to be aware of your weaknesses, so you can turn them into strengths. You have to recognize the moments when you are most vulnerable, so you can prepare yourself to respond with discipline instead of emotion. You also have to stop making excuses. Weak-minded people blame everything outside of themselves. They blame their circumstances, their emotions, their past, their environment. But the truth is, no one is responsible for your self-control except you. No one else can do the work for you. No one else can force you to be disciplined. If you are waiting for someone else to push you, you will always be weak. If you are waiting for life to get easier, you will always struggle. Because life will not change. Other people will not change. The only thing that can change is you. And that starts with taking full responsibility for your actions. The moment you decide that you are in control, everything changes. The moment you stop letting emotions dictate your life, you become powerful. Because now you are no longer controlled by fear. You are no longer controlled by self-doubt. You are no longer controlled by circumstances. You are in charge. You decide how you respond. You decide how hard you work. You decide how far you go. Most people never reach their full potential because they never learn to control themselves. They let distractions pull them away from their goals. They let comfort keep them from pushing harder. They let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. But the ones who win, the ones who succeed at the highest level, are the ones who master themselves. They are the ones who wake up every day and do what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. They are the ones who stay disciplined, even when no one is watching. They are the ones who refuse to let weakness control them. If you want to be relentless, if you want to be fearless, if you want to be unstoppable, you must learn self-control. You must train your mind to operate on discipline, not emotion. You must develop habits that keep you on track, no matter what. You must take full responsibility for your actions and refuse to make excuses. Because at the end of the day, success is not about how you feel. It's about what you do. And if you can master yourself, you can master anything. Number 7, raise your standards. Expect more from yourself. They accept what's given to them. They go through life doing just enough to get by, just enough to stay comfortable. But if you want to succeed at the highest level, if you want to be truly unstoppable, you have to raise your standards. You have to expect more from yourself than anyone else expects from you. Because the truth is, life will never give you more than you demand from it. If you accept average, you will get average. If you settle for less, that's exactly what you will have. But if you raise your standards, if you decide that nothing less than your absolute best is acceptable, everything will change. The first thing you need to understand is that your current life is a reflection of your standards. Whatever you tolerate is what continues. If you tolerate laziness, you will always struggle. If you tolerate excuses, you will never grow. If you tolerate weakness, you will never reach your full potential. You are exactly where you are right now because of the standards you have set for yourself. And if you are not where you want to be, if you are not achieving the results you want, it's time to raise those standards. It's time to stop accepting less from yourself. It's time to demand more. High achievers don't have average standards. They don't operate like everyone else. They don't allow themselves to slack off. They don't allow themselves to take the easy way out. They don't allow themselves to make excuses because they hold themselves to a higher level. They expect more. They demand more. And because of that, they get more. When you raise your standards, everything in your life will start to shift. Your work ethic will improve. Your discipline will grow stronger. Your mindset will change. You will no longer be okay with just doing enough to get by. You will no longer allow yourself to take days off just because you don't feel like it. You will no longer accept failure as an option. You will push yourself harder. You will hold yourself accountable. You will operate on a different level. Because now, the bare minimum is no longer acceptable to you. Too many people wait for motivation to push them forward. They wait for some big moment of inspiration. They wait to feel ready. But motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. You cannot rely on it. You cannot wait for it. If you want to achieve something great, you must learn to operate on discipline, not feelings. You must set a high standard for yourself and meet it every single day, no matter what. You must stop waiting and start doing. One of the most important areas where you need to raise your standards is in your habits. Your daily habits determine your future. The small things you do every day are shaping your results, whether you realize it or not. If you have weak habits, you will have weak results. If you allow yourself to slack off, even a little, it will show in your progress. But if you hold yourself to a higher standard, if you commit to showing up every single day and giving your best effort, your results will reflect that. Look at the way you spend your time. Look at the way you work. Look at the way you take care of yourself. Are you operating at your highest level? Or are you just doing enough to get by? Are you giving 100%? Or are you settling for 60%? If you want to change your life, You have to change your standards. You have to expect more from yourself. You have to commit to excellence in everything you do. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you allow yourself to be lazy in one area, that laziness will show up everywhere. But if you demand excellence from yourself in everything, that mindset will carry over into every part of your life. Raising your standards also means cutting out anything that is holding you back. You cannot expect to reach the next level while still holding on to habits, people, or environments that keep you stuck. If you surround yourself with negativity, with people who don't push you to grow, with distractions that take you away from your goals, you will never reach your full potential. You need to raise your standards for the people you allow in. You need to raise your standards for the way you use your time. You need to raise your standards for what you allow into your mind. Because everything around you is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. And if you want to win, you need to remove anything that is slowing you down. It's not easy to raise your standards. It's uncomfortable. It requires discipline. It requires sacrifice. It requires doing things that most people won't do. But that's the price of success. That's the price of becoming unstoppable. Most people don't raise their standards because it's hard, because it takes real effort, because it means making tough decisions. But that's why most people stay average. That's why most people never reach their full potential, because they choose comfort over growth. You have to decide what kind of person you want to be. Do you want to be like everyone else, doing just enough to get by? Or do you want to stand out, to push yourself beyond your limits, to become someone who refuses to accept anything less than their best? If you want to be great, you cannot operate like everyone else. You have to demand more from yourself. You have to raise the bar. You have to commit to the highest standard, not just when it's easy, but every single day. Most people talk about their dreams, but very few are willing to do what it takes to make them a reality. Very few are willing to wake up early, to stay late, to push through the hard days, to hold themselves accountable when no one else is watching. But those who do, those who set a high standard and meet it every single day, those are the ones who succeed. Those are the ones who achieve greatness. Those are the ones who become relentless, fearless, unstoppable. No one is going to set the standard for you. No one is going to push you harder than you push yourself. No one is going to hold you accountable if you don't hold yourself accountable. It all comes down to you. What are you willing to demand from yourself? What level are you willing to operate at? Because the moment you decide to raise your standards, everything will change. The moment you stop accepting less from yourself, you will start to see real progress. This is your life. This is your future. No one else is going to do the work for you. No one else is going to set the bar for you. If you want to succeed, if you want to reach your full potential, if you want to be truly unstoppable, you have to raise your standard. You have to expect more from yourself. You have to commit to a level of excellence that most people will never reach. Because at the end of the day, your results will always be a reflection of your standards. And if you demand greatness from yourself, that is exactly what you will achieve. Number 8, outlast the competition. Keep moving forward. This is one of the most important parts of becoming someone who is relentless, fearless, and unstoppable. The truth is, most people give up when they get tired. They stop when the going gets tough, but not you. If you want to rise above the rest, if you want to outlast the competition, you have to keep moving forward no matter what. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture a marathon. Now, most people, when they run a race like that, they're focused on the finish line. They want to get there as fast as possible. And when they hit that wall of exhaustion, it's so tempting to just slow down or stop altogether. But the runners who finish first, the ones who take home the medals, are the ones who push through when their body is telling them to quit. They've learned the power of perseverance. They've learned how to outlast the rest. In life, this is exactly how you have to think. The competition, it's everywhere. It's in your business, it's in your career, it's in your personal life. There's always someone trying to get ahead. But here's the secret. It's not about being faster than everyone else. It's about being willing to keep going when the others drop off. It's about sticking it out when they're all too tired to keep running. The key to this is understanding that success isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. So many people expect things to happen overnight. They think that one big effort is enough, but that's not the reality. Success is about consistent action over a long period of time. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, even when you're not seeing immediate results. Think about the last time you hit a rough patch. Maybe it was in your business. Maybe it was in your personal life. You wanted to quit, didn't you? You felt like it was just too much. But I want to tell you something. That feeling of wanting to quit, that's normal. Everybody feels it. It's not unique to you. But here's the difference. Most people act on it. They quit. They give up. They say, I can't do this anymore. But the winners, they push through. They say, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep moving forward. No matter how hard it gets. I know it's not easy. I know there are days when you feel like you can't go any further. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define who you are. When you're struggling, when you feel like everything is working against you, that's when your true character shows. That's when you can decide if you're going to keep going or if you're going to give up. And here's the thing, most people will give up. They'll throw in the towel because it gets hard. But you're going to outlast them. You're going to keep going. You're going to push through the pain, through the doubt, and through the frustration. You're going to keep moving forward. Because that's what separates the winners from the losers. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the willingness to keep going when everyone else has stopped. It's the determination to outlast the competition, even when it feels like the odds are against you. But let's get real for a minute. The competition isn't always other people. Sometimes the biggest competition is within yourself. Sometimes it's the voice inside your head that says, you can't do this. You're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not capable of succeeding. And when you hear that voice, it's easy to start doubting yourself. It's easy to think that maybe the other people are right. Maybe you should just quit. But let me tell you something. That voice, it's lying to you. It's trying to keep you comfortable. It's trying to keep you stuck. But you are stronger than that. You have more inside of you than you realize. And if you just keep moving forward, if you refuse to give up, you will outlast everything that tries to hold you back. I want you to remember this. Progress isn't always fast. You don't have to make huge leaps every day. Sometimes it's just about putting one foot in front of the other. Sometimes it's about doing the small things every day that add up over time. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the best right now. But what you do have to do is keep moving. Keep putting in the work. Keep going, even when it's hard. Because over time, you will build momentum. You will build resilience. And eventually, the competition won't be able to keep up. They'll fall behind. And you'll be the one standing at the finish line, looking back and saying, I did it. You see, when you keep moving forward, you not only outlast the competition, but you also prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. You build confidence. You build strength. You build a mindset that nothing can break. And when you reach the point where you've outlasted everyone else, you'll realize that the true victory wasn't just in finishing. The true victory was in staying the course, in pushing through when it would have been easier to quit. That's where the real power lies. So keep moving forward. Don't worry about how fast you're going or how slow you feel. Sometimes, what matters is that you're still going. The world is full of people who quit, who give up, who stop when it gets hard. But you're not like them. You're different. You have the mindset of a winner, and winners outlast the competition. And if you keep going, if you keep pushing, you will find that success isn't just something that happens to you. It's something that you create. You create it by sticking with it, by moving forward when everyone else has stopped. And when you finally reach your goal, when you finally achieve what you've been working for, you'll know deep down that it was all worth it. Because you didn't quit. You kept moving forward. And that, my friend, is what makes you unstoppable. Number 9. No more excuses. Take full control of your life. Those little stories we tell ourselves to avoid taking responsibility for the things that aren't going right in our lives. I get it. We've all been there. It's easy to look around at our circumstances and say, well, this happened to me, or I don't have what it takes. But if you're serious about achieving success, about becoming relentless, fearless, and unstoppable, you have to stop making excuses. You have to take full control of your life. The truth is, excuses are nothing more than a form of self-deception. We convince ourselves that we can't move forward because of some obstacle, but deep down we know that it's just our fear, our comfort zone, trying to keep us from growing. Every time we make an excuse, we're giving away our power. We're saying, I'm not in control, or this is too hard for me. But let me tell you something. The only person who has the power to change your situation is you, no one else, not your boss, not your family, not your circumstances. You're the one in the driver's seat. I've talked to so many people who want to change their lives, but they're stuck in a cycle of excuses. They say things like, I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, or I'm too old, or I'm too young. And let me be clear about something. Time, money, and age are never the real problem. The real problem is that they haven't made a decision to take control. They haven't decided that they're going to stop letting those things hold them back. You see, when you make an excuse, what you're really doing is giving yourself permission to quit before you even start. You're saying, this is too hard, so I'm not even going to try. But that's not the mindset of a winner. Winners don't make excuses. Winners find a way. Winners figure things out. And that's the mindset you need to adopt if you want to succeed. You have to take full responsibility for your life. If something isn't going the way you want it to, stop blaming other people or your circumstances. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, what can I do to change this? What's within my control? It's not always easy. In fact, it can be really tough. There will be days when you feel like you've done everything you can, and things still aren't working out the way you hoped. That's when the excuses start creeping in. Maybe it's just not meant to be. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. But let me tell you something. Those thoughts, they're lies. They're the lies you tell yourself to make it easier to quit. And if you let them control you, you'll never achieve what you're truly capable of. The key to getting past excuses is understanding that nothing in life is guaranteed. Success isn't promised to anyone. But if you take full control of your life, if you refuse to let excuses dictate your actions, you'll start to see things shift. You'll start to realize that every setback, every failure, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. You'll start to see that the only thing standing in your way is the story you've been telling yourself about what's possible. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for things to be just right. The right time will never come. There will always be obstacles. There will always be challenges. But that's not an excuse to wait around. It's an invitation to act. You have to take control and make the most of what you have right now, even if it's not perfect, even if you don't have everything you need. Because guess what? You'll never have everything you need at the start. You'll never have all the answers. You'll never have all the resources. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you take that first step, even when you don't know exactly how things will turn out. You have to get comfortable with the idea that progress doesn't happen in straight lines. It's messy. It's full of setbacks. But the key is to keep moving forward, no matter what. If you want to stop making excuses, you need to stop being afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are just part of the process. They don't define you unless you let them. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going, even after they fail. They don't let their failures stop them from moving forward. Here's the thing. If you want to take control of your life, you have to be willing to do the work. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy answers. But there is a path. It's the path of taking responsibility. It's the path of looking at your life and saying, I'm the one who can change this. I'm the one who can make it happen. And once you make that decision, everything starts to change. When you take full responsibility for your life, you start to realize that you have everything you need to succeed. You might not have everything you want right now, but you have the ability to create the life you want. The power is in your hands. And when you start to use that power, when you stop making excuses, you'll find that you're capable of so much more than you ever imagined. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Take full control of your life right now. Don't let excuses hold you back anymore. Look at your situation. Look at your dreams and take action. No more hesitation. No more waiting. Take responsibility. Take control and go after what you want with everything you've got. Because the only thing standing between you and your goals is the excuse you're making right now. So get rid of it. Take control and make it happen. Number 10, the power of consistency. Success is a process we live in. A world that loves shortcuts, quick fixes, and instant results. Everywhere you turn, there's someone telling you how to get rich quick or how to lose 20 pounds in a week. People want to skip the hard work and jump straight to the results. But here's the truth. Success doesn't happen that way. There's no magic pill, no secret formula, no shortcut to real, lasting success. The truth is, success is a process, and the key to unlocking it is consistency. If you look at any successful person, you'll notice one thing they all have in common. They didn't get there by chance. They didn't get there by taking shortcuts. They got there by showing up, day after day, doing the work, and staying committed to their goals. They embraced the process. They understood that success isn't about big, flashy moments. It's about the small, everyday actions that add up over time. I want you to think about your own life for a moment. Look at the areas where you've been successful. Maybe it's in your job, maybe it's in a personal goal you've achieved, or maybe it's something else entirely. If you think about it, you'll realize that it wasn't the big events or the one-time efforts that got you there. It was the small, consistent actions you took over time. It was the habit of showing up, even on the days when you didn't feel like it. It was the choice to keep going, even when things got tough. Consistency is powerful because it builds momentum. Think about a snowball rolling down a hill. At first it's small, maybe not even noticeable. But as it rolls, it picks up speed, and it starts to grow. That's how success works. In the beginning, it might feel like you're not getting anywhere. You're putting in the work, but the results aren't showing up right away. And that's when most people give up. They stop showing up because they don't see immediate results, and they think it's not worth it. But here's the thing. Consistency is what builds that momentum. It's the thing that makes the snowball grow. It's the thing that eventually leads to the big breakthrough. The hardest part about consistency is staying the course when things aren't going well, when you're not seeing the results you want, when you feel like you're putting in all this effort and it's just not paying off. That's when the doubt creeps in. That's when you start to question yourself. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I'm wasting my time. But here's the truth. You're not wasting your time. You're building something. You're laying the foundation for success. Every action you take, every time you show up and do the work, you're adding another brick to the foundation of your success. And one day when that foundation is strong enough, the results will start to show. But it's not just about the results. It's about the person you become in the process. Every time you stay consistent, even when it's hard, you're growing. You're becoming stronger, more disciplined, more resilient. And that growth is what prepares you for the success that's coming. You're building the mental toughness, the habits, and the mindset that will help you handle the success when it finally arrives. Think about some of the most successful people you admire. Whether it's in business, sports, or any other field, you can bet that they didn't get to where they are by taking shortcuts. They got there by showing up every single day, doing the work, and staying consistent. They weren't always perfect. They made mistakes. They had setbacks. But the one thing they didn't do was quit. They kept going. And that's the secret. The secret to success isn't in doing everything perfectly. It's in showing up day after day and keeping at it, no matter what. The power of consistency isn't just about big goals and big achievements. It's about the small things. It's about the daily habits, the routines, the mindset that you develop over time. If you want to be successful, it's not enough to have big dreams. You have to back those dreams up with consistent action. You have to wake up every day and make the choice to move closer to your goal. It doesn't have to be a huge leap every day. It can be small steps, little actions. But as long as you're moving forward, you're building momentum. Now let's talk about how to stay consistent, even when things get tough. First of all, you have to have a clear goal in mind. When you know what you're working toward, it's easier to stay focused. But also, you need to be patient with yourself. Success takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. So don't expect to see instant results. Instead, focus on the process. Focus on the small wins. Celebrate the little things, because they add up. Another key to staying consistent is holding yourself accountable. You have to take responsibility for your actions, and you have to be honest with yourself. If you're not putting in the work, then no one else is going to do it for you. You have to show up for yourself every single day, even when you don't feel like it. And when you slip up, when you have a bad day or miss a step, don't beat yourself up. Just get back on track the next day. That's the beauty of consistency. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up again and again, no matter what. Consistency also means making the right decisions day in and day out. It's the small choices, the ones that might seem insignificant at the time, that make all the difference. It's choosing to eat healthy, even when it's easier to grab fast food. It's choosing to work on your goals, even when you'd rather relax. It's choosing to invest in yourself, even when you're tired. The more consistently you make those small positive decisions, the more you'll start to see the bigger picture taking shape. Remember, success isn't a destination, it's a journey. And the only way to keep moving forward on that journey is through consistency. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right opportunity. It's about making the most of what you have right now and consistently working toward your goals. Over time, the results will come. The progress will add up. And before you know it, you'll be looking back and realizing just how far you've come. So if you're feeling discouraged, if you're wondering if it's worth it, I want you to remember this. Success is a process. It's built on consistency. And as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep doing the work, you're going to get there. It might take time. It might be tough. But the one thing you can control is your effort. And if you keep putting in the effort, the results will follow. Stay consistent. Keep moving forward, and success will be yours.